variations throughout this class. If you're new to Pilates, have no fear. You are going to do what works for your body, what's challenging and doable. And you're going to see the similar exercises week after week. And there's always variations you can do to make it harder and to make it easier. All right, so you will be progressing at your own pace for all these exercises. So now I'm going to crab walk back to my mat. All right, you don't need to crab walk anywhere. And we're going to start with our Pilates breathing. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. I always liken Pilates breathing to smelling the soup or the hot chocolate, whatever smells really good, but it's hot, so you got to blow on it to cool it down. And you can't cool hot soup if you keep your mouth closed. And this is how we'll breathe throughout Pilates, because this type of exhale helps recruit the abdominal muscles. Now, ideally, you don't want to keep your neck turned and look at me the whole time. I'll be looking over at you guys, but feel free to look straight ahead. Keep your head and neck aligned with your spine. Keep those shoulders down and relax at all times. So let's take one more breath in. And we're going to slowly exhale out through the mouth, draw the abdominals in, create a little C curve or curve, and slowly make your way down to the mats. Knees are going to be bent, feet flat on the floor, hip distance apart. We continue to breathe. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. If you try to exhale all the air out of your lungs, you will feel abdominal recruitment. It just naturally happens. That it starts to draw down, down, down in order to get all the air out. Inhale and exhale. I personally find that I can exhale a lot more than I can inhale. But in either case, you're trying to inhale as much as you can and exhale out as much as you can. As you inhale, think about the rib cage expanding. We're trying actually not to breathe into our belly, which some of you may have a tendency to do. That's okay. But the idea is that we're able to keep our abdominals slightly recruited, keep our abdominals engaged as we inhale and exhale. If you have to relax your abs every time you inhale, then that's going to make doing Pilates really challenging, because what we want to do is be working our abs at the same time that we're constantly breathing. Now, probably you're lying in a neutral spine position with a small curve under your lower back. We're going to go ahead and imprint. So taking that lower back down to the mats. Inhale, you can relax. Neutral is a relaxed state. Exhale, imprint. That's the work state. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, imprint. Good. One more time. Exhale, imprint. Keep the imprint, legs up. If you ever have any strain in the lower back, feel free to put the feet back down. We're going to alternately toe tap. And what this does is increases the work in our abs to try to maintain the imprint. If you feel strain in the lower back, or you feel your lower back come off the ground, then you're going to lower your feet only halfway down. The other option you can do is to slightly move the leg toward the chest, which counterbalances the leg going away. However, if you do too much of this back and forth, you'll find that you won't feel your abs at all. So first I would test and see how much abdominal recruitment you feel, maintaining imprint with the leg stopping at hip distance. Not hip distance, over the hips. So if you notice, only one leg is moving and the other leg is staying still directly over the hips. So our tabletop position is shin parallel, thighs vertical. And then if you'd like to try with both legs simultaneously moving down, I still have my legs hip distance apart. So they're moving together, but they're not moving as one unit. They're synchronized. Two individual legs. Exhale. And again, you don't have to take the feet all the way down to the ground. If by chance your feet are cramping because you're pointing your toes, you have the option to flex the feet. If the heels touch the ground, you end up going a little bit lower, so it's a little more challenging. Okay, and let's finish with the last one, taking you down to the mats. Slide your feet in a little bit, come to neutral. Tailbone is on the floor in neutral position. Exhale, lift the tailbone, imprint, press through the feet, and roll up into your shoulder bridge. Articulation of the spine as you roll down inch by inch. Inhale, hold. At the bottom, exhale, roll it up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll down. So this shoulder bridge is probably not new to anyone. We find it in Pilates. We also see it in many other exercises. Keep doing a couple more at your own pace. Good, so you're exhaling during the lifting and the lowering. Okay, so now we're going to do our ab prep, otherwise known as a crunch. Exhale to lift. Inhale, we hold with those shoulder blades just hovering above the mat. Chin is tucked, eye gaze on those knees. And exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale, crunch up. Inhale, hold. And exhale, lower down. Inhale. Exhale. In and out. Last time, we're going to be lifting our legs up for hundreds. Feel free to keep the feet right here. Palms down, we're going to pump those arms 100 times. Feel free to also straighten the legs if you like, or on the diagonal. Here we go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10, inhale. Exhale, 20, inhale. Exhale, 30, keep reaching with those fingers. Exhale, 40, inhale. Exhale, halfway done. Now straighten my legs. You don't have to keep the same leg position for the entire time. There's 60, inhale. Exhale. 70, inhale. If you'd like to lower the legs for a little challenge, you can. We're on 80, inhale. Exhale. 90, inhale. And exhale. Slowly lower the head, neck, and shoulders. You do build up neck strength in your neck over time. So if you do have some soreness or fatigue in your neck, it's always okay to put your head back down, and then just lift it up whenever it's had enough rest. So now we're on our stomach for our spine extension. So all those muscles right around our spinal column is now engaged to lift the head, neck, and chest as one unit. Imagine you're wearing a neck brace. It doesn't allow you to look up, down, right, or left. So you must move the head, neck, and chest as exactly one unit. I'm gently pressing into my forearm from fingertips to elbows. Good. And let's do one more with our hands down. Good, and if you'd like to try it without your hands, you can try a couple. Your hands will go back here.
And listen to your body, because the spine muscle is very, very delicate. So if you've done 5 reps and you feel like that's enough, feel free to go right into a stretch. So here is the spine extension without a forearm assist. I reach my arms to the back. I squeeze my shoulder blades together. Good, we'll try one more. And then at any point during this class, if you want to go into a cat-cow stretch, you can, or what we call a shell stretch. This is like you're creating a shell over a beach ball that's on your lap. Okay, we're going to go into a plank. You can do this on your elbows or your wrists. I'm just trying to warm up my shoulders and arms right now, so I'm going to do it on my wrist. Either your wrists are going to be underneath your shoulders or your elbows. Good. I'm going to reach one heel to the back of the room and then the other. You can always start with your glutes a little higher, if you feel your abs. If you do, then that's great. Hold it right there. If you don't, then just shift down a little bit so there's a slight slant from your shoulders, through hips, through ankles. But it's a straight line. And again, you want those shoulders right over the elbows or over the wrist. Eye gaze directly on the floor. Head and neck aligned with the spine. Continuing to breathe, inhale and exhale. You want to squeeze your quadriceps, feeling support around the knees. I want you to squeeze your butt so that you're supported through the pelvis area. And I want you to squeeze your abs, draw it up and in toward the spine. So you have, again, support in that midsection. And finally, you really want to press into those forearms if you're on your elbows, or slightly bend the elbows and press through spread fingered palms. So you get all those arm and shoulder girdle muscles. Engage. The plank definitely works a lot of muscles. And now that I've said all that, we can get up. Do I count how many seconds we hold planks? No, I just try to do a speech and distract you. And then, since you're thinking about all those things, you don't realize how long we've been in the plank. And now we're back to sitting. Fingertips reach forward for our half rollback. This is exactly what it sounds like. We're going to roll back halfway down. I think the tops of my pants are just about here. I'm getting it really close. But not quite there. So you don't actually want the lower back all the way to the floor. Mostly you want to find a spot that's challenging. So right now we are keeping constant flow, constant movement. I exhale, halfway back. My toes stay stuck to the floor. I inhale, I sit up. You can keep a C curve or you can lengthen the spine if you want. But it's kind of like there's no end and no beginning. But now we're going to create a pause here. So we're going to go down, exhale. We're going to inhale and hold. We're going to exhale and turn. Like I'm going to hand you the hot soup I was trying to cool down. And now I'm back to the center, but I'm not going to pause there. I'm going to go all the way to the other side. So really rotates. And then back to center, and we're coming up. So you want to keep alternating the breath. I know I wasn't talking about the breath the whole time, but keep the breath alternating. So let's do this again. Exhale, inhale, exhale, rotates. Inhale to center, you exhale, rotate to the other side. Inhale to center, exhale, lift up. Take a breath in. If you've been going to the left first or the right first every time, just go in the other direction first. Just for some symmetry. Exhale, we go back. Inhale, pause, and then exhale, rotates. Inhale through center. Exhale, we take it all the way to the other side. Inhale to center, exhale. Sit up. And we're going to do this all one more time. Inhale, so this should be the 4th time. Inhale here, exhale. Go ahead and rotate.
And if you're inhaling while I say exhale, it's not a big deal. As long as you're not holding your breath, then you are good. Go ahead and roll all the way down. Slowly, with control. Good, I'm gonna lift one leg, extend my body. When I extend my body, I don't wanna pop my rib cage. I wanna keep everything down and engaged. So we're not trying to arch our back. When I reach my arms overhead. Inhale, the full roll up with single leg assistance. I'm exhaling here to use my abs to peel myself off the floor as I extend the legs. Stretch as far forward as you can. This is the part of Pilates where you're getting the stretch. With every subsequent roll up, you're going to try to deepen your hamstring stretch. You're going to try to reach more and more toward your toes. Lift your other leg, nice and smoothly. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale, spine and legs. That exhale works the spine and legs at the same time. So you're squeezing your quadriceps to straighten your legs, and you're squeezing your abs to peel your spine off the ground. Now, on the way down, let's control the lowering so you are working your abs. Heels stay firmly on the ground. Good. Continuing. Inhale. Exhale. This is all slow and smooth. Your leg assists with the transferring of the weights, but it shouldn't be doing all the work. If you're kicking your leg out really quickly, you might not feel your abs. If you want a little more challenge, you can take your arms a little higher as you roll down. Not past your ears. It's always going to be at your ears or in front of your ears. Good. Inhale, head, shoulders, exhale. Are you getting closer and closer toward your toes? Good. This is where pants legs start to fall off. So you can always adjust your pants. I'm going to do the last two with my heels staying on the ground. This is a little more challenging. Try it. The worst that can happen is you don't get up, but you won't get injured. Again, option to have those arms nice and high as you roll down. You can have the arms high as you roll up too. It's just really, really hard. I don't even know if I can get up. So let's see. Inhale. I try to keep my arms up. Oh gosh, almost got stuck there. So just this is what I was talking about. Why Pilates is so great. You can modify positions of your limbs and make an exercise more challenging or less challenging. So it's always something that's challenging for you, doable for you. It's not about what anyone else is doing. It's not about what I'm doing. All right. We're going to do some leg lowering. So go ahead and hug your knees into the chest. Anytime we're doing this type of exercise, your abs are stabilizing. It's not directly working, but stabilizing. Try not to pull on the mat. Press down into the floor. Legs are straight, vertical as can be. And you want to just start with little angles or small range of motion. So if you recall really quickly that during the warm-up we did this with our knees bent, it's the same motion except our legs are now straight. Now if you want to take it to 45 degrees, you can. If you want to take it to 30, you can. Some people find it easier to inhale down and exhale up, and others find it easier to exhale on the lowering, inhale, lift. Figure out which breathing pattern you're going to do and stick with it. Now I'm going to keep going and take breaks if you need, but I'm actually going to orient my body this way because I want to show you what we're going to transition into. So right now I'm going down and up, straight down and up in a line. But I want you to slowly start making a little bit of an oval or a cylinder or a pill shaped. And then instead of going down and up, you're going to go down to the right,
or down to the left, upright, or down, left, upright. They say you're kind of making a U, like a U-turn. Maybe this is a teardrop shape.
Not super critical what shape you're making, but you are adding some lateral motion. Not too far to the side, because if you go too far to the side, you'll just tilt over, okay? But enough that it's a little more challenging than just the down and up. And how low do you want to go? It's up to you. I'll show you this way. Oh, I'm going to hit the wall. What does this look like? Okay. Oh, I just rested my feet on my wall. Okay, let me just take a quick glance at you guys. How are we doing? Yep. Good. If you lose that imprint, if you have any strain in the lower back, you can always bend your knees, but you can also limit your range of motion. Okay, great. We're going to actually come back to that one in a little bit, but I'm going to go into the ab series, so single leg stretch stuff. So go ahead and take your legs down from here to here and stretch those legs out. Head, neck, and shoulders can lift if you'd like. Well, a couple weeks ago, maybe it was last week, I don't remember, but we added a variation of the scoop. I'm going to do that again here, just to bring it back, since it was probably new to a lot of you guys. So the scoop is, as my leg extends, I go low, and then I scoop up. Like there's sand right on the floor. I'm going to scoop up some sand. I'm going to flick it up. Feel free to slow down the movement. It never hurts you to slow down in Pilates. When you speed up in Pilates, usually you just take away some of the work. So think about scooping the toes, grabbing that sand, then flicking it up. Again, same thing. If your head's tired, if your neck's tired, put it back down. A little bit of coordination here, but again, creates a little challenge. All right, let's support our head and do our regular scissors or regular bicycle. This is not scissors, or bicycle. You can actually do the scoop, but it's a lot to also twist and scoop, so it's up to you if you want to do the regular bicycle or add a little scoop. As you twist and turn towards the bent knee. We're still breathing, right? Inhale to switch, exhale, hold the twist. Inhale to switch, exhale, hold the twist. Okay. Your neck needs a break, take it. Double leg stretch. This is standard, or what we call basic double leg stretch. My legs are together. My arms are apart, but I'm reaching them on the diagonal. You can reach high on the diagonal. You can reach lower on the diagonal. You can also do a combination, which is the scoop. It's actually easier if you scoop with the arms and legs. So you go like this, scoop, return. So I'm going low, like I'm picking up sand, and I don't recommend doing Pilates on the beach, by the way. The sand is not firm enough to be underneath your spine to give you the support you need to do Pilates effectively. I'm only talking about sand because I think it helps to paint the scoop picture, but you can scoop other things, I guess. You can lift your head, scoop and reach. So we're basically going low to high. It's like we're indecisive. Should we do a low angle? I don't know. Let's do both, low and high angle. Let's do two more. Quality over quantity, meaning I'm not counting, but I should. If you feel it, that's important. If you do 25 of these and you still don't feel it, that's not good. If you do 5 really great ones and you feel it, it's good. Oh, what am I doing? We're not done. Okay, we gotta do scissors. Scissors, this is actually called scissors. Legs are mostly straight. Again, the straighter your legs are, the more the hamstrings will get stretched. You're working the quads and hip flexors here. And again, head can be up or down. Let's add a double pulse to this. I'm not really going to scoop here. It's going to be pulse, 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 pulse. So in other words, think about like split, split wider. Split, split wider. Reach, reach. This leg goes reach, reach. This top leg goes reach toward the head. Okay? Pulse, 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 pulse. Inhale, 2 short exhales. It's actually really 1 exhale, but just kind of staccatoed. Four, 3, 1. Can you guys hear me when I breathe? I mean, I don't know what actually transfers to this microphone of mine on my laptop, my old laptop, anyways. Okay, so hopefully our abs are a little fatigued and we are ready to get down on it so that we can work the spine. All right, I'm gonna do some letters today. You can stay down, I'm just showing you. This is the letter T, and this is Y. There is I, but we're not gonna do I. We're gonna do Y, T, and then this is A. And now it doesn't really look like an A without that middle part, but that's what it is. So we're going to start with the T. This is probably the most neutral position for your shoulders. Okay? When we bring it to the the A, it's a little easier because the arms are going back. It's helping pull our chest up. And then when we go to the Y, this is the most challenging because the arms are in front of us. So there's all this extra weight of my arms that my spine now has to lift. But back to the T. Up, down, A. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Y. Good. Now, are your thumbs up for the Y? They can be. It's really up to your comfort level. For the T, I find that palms down makes the most sense to me. For A, your palms can be turned in. It can also be palms down. Whatever works for you. Keep going at your own pace. Again, slow, controlled, lift and lower. Keep your head and neck aligned with your spine. We're not looking up. Remember that neck brace? Now, here's the thing, is if you don't want to do the Y, you don't have to do the Y. If you don't want to do the A, you don't have to do the A. You can do all T's. All right, I'm just giving you options here. And it's kind of nice to do all 3 because then it takes your shoulders to a nice range of motion. And also takes your spine through various challenges. And it's just with the weight of your arms. So again, anything you want to do, you can do. All right, I think let's do 3 more. So 1 more in each of the positions. I think I got a mosquito bite. Simple issue right here. And then go ahead into your stretch. So shell stretch is very different from child's pose. Child's pose, you might have your knees apart and you're just really sort of flattening and melting down into the ground. Here we're intentionally creating curvature in the spine, rounding over an imaginary object to create that stretch across our back. We're going to go into a side plank. And this side plank is also going to involve working our inner and outer thighs. I'm going to do a couple on my elbows and my knees, and then I'm going to come onto the wrist and the feet. And if you want to repeat the knee and the elbow version, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so my knees are bent. Now you can have your legs perfectly straight, like basically straight, flat body. But you want to figure out what works so that you have maximal lift. We're not just coming to neutral, you can go a little higher beyond that so you can have extra contraction here. This is a lateral bend, and whenever you go a little bit beyond neutral, you get a little more oblique work. This doesn't apply to normal front planks because if you go up and beyond where your butt's too high, then you actually just take away work from the abs. This, you actually create more work for your obliques.
Good. You'll notice that if your elbows are too far out, you can't do anything. You need your elbows underneath the shoulders. You also don't want it too this way because that actually puts stress on the shoulders. So really finding this correct position and alignment is really important. If it helps, you can take that top arm up. Okay, both knees are bent right now, and I'm going to keep both knees bent as I lift the top leg, as I lift my butt. Good, it's not just our obliques and outer thighs at work here. The shoulder is doing a lot. We're not sunken into our shoulder. Let's do 2 more, and then I'm going to switch sides because it's not just here that's fatiguing, it's also our shoulders, and we definitely don't want to injure our shoulder. I'm going to go back to the first side. But again, we're giving the shoulders a little break too. Okay, so here we are. Does this bother anyone's knees right here? Because if it does, you can always roll up your mat to give yourself more cushioning. You have a little towel you can put there. Good. Really try to push up as much as you can. Push into those forearms, push this up. The extra little ½ inch is the difference between feeling that oblique contraction. Good, if you're ready for 8 times, feel free to count to yourself if you want to do exactly 8 and not more than 8. But if you don't care, then you can just go by my count, which is sort of non-existent counting. You'll find that when you start to lift the leg, you might not be able to push the obliques as much high. So don't worry about it. You're still getting plenty of work. Okay, I think that was 8. So we're ready to try it on the other side, but this time on our feet and on the wrist. This does work the arm more, but it also does put pressure on the wrist. It does take getting used to. Unless you've had a wrist injury, it's fine to be on the wrist. It does take, again, some getting used to. I'm gonna start here. My top leg is in front for balance. Because if I'm gonna fall on my face, this will help me, or this will help me. But if my leg is back here, I only got my hands. So it's just a kind of a safety thing. All right, definitely don't want to do too much of this here because it's a lot. You are able to put your knee down for this. Sometimes there's a lot of pressure on the knees though because you're coming at a higher angle, so it's more directly on the knees, and it's not comfortable, which is why I don't do it that way. Lift. You're basically going side plank, star. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And also, by the way, you can do it like this, elbows and toes. All right, so there's basically 4 options. Elbows, knees, elbows, toes. Elbows, feet. Wrist, knees, wrist, feet. Right, got it? Okay, we're just doing the second side, and that's it. We're not doing any more after this. First, just the obliques for 8, 7, get that wrist underneath the shoulder, 6, 5, yep. I like to keep my top arm reaching up. It reminds me to stay lifted on my shoulders. I'm gonna add the leg lift now. You can put it in front and then lift, or you can stack it and lift. Whoa. Last 3. Star, 2, and 1. Good. All right, shake out those wrists. Earlier when I talked about, you need to lay down again, but earlier when I talked about this, remember I said I was gonna come back to it? I'm actually gonna bring you back to this with a hip lift. So you circle and you create a little bit of momentum. If you don't want to do the circle, you go down and you go up and you create momentum. So let me show you from the side here. It's a hip lift. Press those arms down.
lower, lift, and up. Now, try not to do it this way, only because the weight of your legs will just pull your butt off the floor. You don't really need your abs, but if you go upward, then you are recruiting your abs, okay? And then, I don't know if you can tell from here, I'll just show you kind of the circling. So that I circle down, I come up the other side, make that teardrop, circle, converge, teardrop, I go up, circle, lift. Good. When you lift,
Doesn't matter how high your butt goes up. It's the fact that you're contracting your abs that much more to create the articulation from tailbone to the mid-back. Press into the floor of those arms. Those arms are going to help you with the lift. If this bothers your lower back, you don't need to do it. You can do the leg lowering that we did earlier. Good. You may find that if you do want to pull your legs more toward your head versus just straight up, you can. But when you do that, if you pull it toward your head, like feel what's going on in your body. If you don't feel any abs, right, because it's just your legs and the weight pulling your butt off the floor, then you know that you pulled it too much toward your head. So you can figure out, maybe I want to pull this way a little bit and I still feel my abs. Right here, I feel my abs, but over here, I don't feel my abs. And then here, I can't get my butt up at all, right, when it's too vertical. So you have to figure out at what slight angle works for you to feel the abs. All right, I think you've probably done around 8 or so by now. So you can pause. So that was all ab work, obliques. So let's come back and work on our spine a little bit one more time. All right, we're doing good. So here is our narrow X. So my feet are to the corner of the mat, my arms are to the corner of the mat. I'm going to lift right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg, and then all 4 limbs. And then I'm going to repeat. Right arm, left leg, opposites only, legs straight, arms straight. But again, it's to the corners, so not straight in front. And then all 4 limbs. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. When I lift all 4 limbs, I'm not looking up. My head and neck stays aligned with my spine the whole time. My eye gaze is always on the mat. If you don't feel like lifting all 4 limbs, you don't have to. It can be too much for your lower back. So just keep with the opposing pairs. And if that's too much, just do the arms or just do the legs. You can do just the arm, just the right arm, just the left arm, just the right leg, just the left leg. Pilates is very much a personal thing. Good. All right, why don't you cycle through all of it one more time? So 3 total, 3 or 4. Find your shell stretch. All right, I don't know if you guys have AC on or not, but I generally have AC off when I do Pilates. I kind of like the heat. It gives me a little more flexibility. But I'm definitely sweating right now. Okay, we're actually going to do some push-ups today. Push-ups, believe it or not, is part of the Pilates repertoire. And the official way of doing Pilates is you start on your feet. Now, I set up my camera so that I'd be able to stay down and not have my head cut off. But it's okay if my head's cut off. It's only for a moment. So here is the official way of doing Pilates. A Pilates push-up, I should say. You're standing up against the wall. You nod your chin and you peel yourself away from that wall. The head, the spine, lower back. My butt is still against the wall. Here is a really nice hamstring stretch. Okay, and I'm going to walk it out. I'm going to do my first one on my knees. Walk, 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 walk. lower my knees. So you can have your knees underneath your hips, or it can be a little bit behind. My hands are actually underneath my shoulders. So they're not very wide. These are known as tricep push-ups. I'm going to inhale down for 3 staccato breaths. So it's inhale, 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 exhale, press up. And that is a Pilates push-up. Inhale down slowly and up quickly. Inhale for 3, 2, 1, exhale, press up. Keep your elbows nice and tight, not out if you can. But if you want to do regular push-ups, you can take your hands away. Last time. Inhale down for 3, 2, 1, exhale, press up. My face is going slightly ahead of my hands because my chest is coming down in between my hands. Now I'm going to come off my knees if you're on your knees, and we're going to walk it back. Get your butt up against that imaginary wall. Now slowly roll up, with your head being the last thing that comes up against the wall. So here's your lower back, mid back, shoulders, and yes, my head gets cut off, but my head is up above my shoulders. We're going to do this one more time, and this time I'm going to do it on my toes. Peel yourself away from the wall. So just keep breathing, because we just want to take your time on this. So you don't want to say like, oh my God, the exhale has to last this entire time. Just take your breath. And when we finally get to the push-up, that's when we're going to inhale the way down and exhale the way up. So keep breathing, walk it out. I'm in my full plank. We're going to do 3 push-ups. Here's the breath. Inhale down for 3, 2, 1, exhale up. Inhale down for 3, 2, 1. Last time. Good, and walk it back. And once you've rolled yourself all the way up, we'll come back to sitting on the mat for our final stretch. I actually rolled up really quickly. All right, let's do a hip opening stretch here. If this isn't comfortable, you can always cross your legs. It's a matter. Try to sit with as straight a spine as you can. But first, we're going to focus on getting those hips nice and wide. If you want to press down, you can. But you don't want to like slouch over and press down. See if you can like keep your spine straight. Spine straight. Well, as straight as can be. Good, and then we're going to do some twists. You can also twist like this. So your spine has capabilities, your body has capabilities, and it's really not a joke. If you don't use it, you will lose it. So if you stop doing certain movements, you're going to lose the capability of doing that. So remember that your spine can twist. So every day, we probably don't think about it, but we're not doing the twist. We're not dancing and doing the twist. So we probably want to at least do a twist stretch sitting in our chair at our desk maybe. Our spine can also forward flex, but don't worry about that one. We're probably doing that a lot, okay? It probably doesn't go back and arch a lot, so that's what you kind of want to focus on, lifting that chest, slight arch of the back. And the other thing it does is it laterally bends. So it laterally flexes to the side. So this is something we probably also don't do much of in our day-to-day. So the most often thing you see is people having sort of a hunchback or a rounded back that's sort of stuck there because they've sat like that for so long and that their muscles sort of froze that way and got tight that way. So just remind yourself what your spine can do, what your body can do. Your arms can reach overhead. If you don't often reach your arms overhead, then the next time you reach overhead, it feels a little stiff. It feels like there's impingement. It feels like something's stuck. I went running for the first time in many, many years. And basically my hips just felt like they weren't working. Because usually when you walk, you don't have a very long stride. But suddenly you're running, you have a longer stride. And if your hips aren't used to that motion, you know. I do some dancing, but it's different. So thank you for joining the Pilates. And